first time here, I am Abby Stone at the Curly Haired Keeper. Today, I want to talk about enclosure woes. Specifically, what I want to talk about today is enclosure size. That's why I actually have Aries with me, and what to do if you find yourself with an enclosure that is too small for the animal that is living inside of it. Why don't you just go get a bigger enclosure? That's the obvious answer. However, things aren't always what they seem. So I want to talk a little bit about options that might be helpful if you're in the same boat that I am. Currently, I have Aries who is about 4 feet long. He's probably a little longer than 4 feet in a 3 by 1.5 by 1.5 glass enclosure from, I think it's Enclosure. And it's fine, but he's so active, he just destroys it pretty much every single night. I do have a 2 by 4 by 6, so 2 feet deep, 4 feet tall, 6 feet wide, on its way. But the issue that I am running into is I ordered it about a month ago. It is currently the end of May. It's not going to get here until the beginning of August. So that's currently what I'm experiencing, is things just taking some time to build. I'm picky about my enclosures. I want to be picky. That's how I choose to build my more permanent enclosures. So the brands that I go through tend to take a little bit longer to build, and that's okay. I'm not going to not go through a brand that I really love just because it takes a little bit longer for it to get to me, if that makes sense. Other reasons that might make the obvious answer of just go buy a bigger enclosure, less accessible is things are expensive. We're in May of 2022 right now, and inflation is bizarro in the US. I know it's bonkers elsewhere too, but things have gotten really expensive in a really short amount of time, and a lot of us have not gotten a pay raise to match. So not only are you dealing with other things getting expensive, the enclosure itself that you had your eye on that you wanted to purchase may now be out of your price range. Regardless of why you may not be able to upgrade an animal's enclosure right away, it's none of my business, to be honest. I'm not here to judge. I want to offer some, hopefully, temporary solutions that might help you get through whatever it is you need to get through before you are able to upgrade an animal to a more appropriate sized enclosure. Thing number one that I like to do is this snake, this dude, Aries, is very, very active. He's also very social, so he will want to come out, which I'm lucky he actually wants to come out, and stretch and get some enrichment and exercise outside of his enclosure. So that's the first solution that I utilize with this particular animal, is get him out, let him stretch, let him move around. I have him out for at least an hour every day to do his thing. He likes to climb, he likes to explore. Utilize your space in more creative ways. So I have a stair rail that he loves to climb on, so it's a really good way for him to utilize those arboreal muscles and his inquisitive nature. You can see him thinking through how to climb up this stair rail, and every time he does it, he gets faster and faster, which is just really cool. Another thing you can do is add enrichment to the enclosure you have. You can get not only creative with the space in your home, but get creative with the space in their enclosure too. Move stuff around on the regular. Whenever I clean out his enclosure, which is basically every day because he's a retic, I rearrange it in a different way so he has new things to kind of explore and check out. And he does. He notices when I move something, and he'll spend a little bit of time exploring and inspecting his home. Depending on where you live and depending on the weather, take your snake outside. Take them out for some natural sunshine, take them out to enjoy sniffing around, and even if you're still holding them while they're stretching and reaching for different smells, it can be really enriching for them to explore nature. They're from nature, so it makes sense that they would get a lot of enrichment from being outside. My battery's about to die. I'll change it. Hold on. Okay, we're back. New battery. Aries helped. Made it so much easier changing a battery in a camera when you're holding a steak. That was sarcasm. Just in case you know, why do you want in my face? Getting them out to let them explore around your home, getting creative with the space that you have within your home, things like stairs, things like railings. Ensure that your snake isn't going to harm itself on anything. So for example, I have a clothes rack, like a drying rack, that would be great for him to climb on. I've never let him climb on it because it is made of metal and there's hinges in it that have screws, and he's strong enough, if he really wanted to, he could manipulate that to pinch himself in it. So that's a form of enrichment that he's never going to get, just to keep him safe. Other things to consider when letting them kind of move around. We have 3 dogs, so when he goes up the stair railing, I make sure the dogs are away from where he's going to wind up, and I supervise him the entire time. Obviously, don't let your snake loose in your house. You'll wind up without a snake. Just FYI. He does wind up quite often wrapping himself around the railing, so familiarize yourself with how to get your snake to let go of things that they really like to hang on to. That same cautionary behavior on your end obviously applies to taking them outside as well, especially if you decide to take them to a park or somewhere public, ensuring that there's no hyper dogs running around off leash, or, you know, people with kids that they're not paying close attention to. You know, use your eyeballs, use your brain, check things out, check out your surroundings before you let your snake go explore. The last thing that I talked about, maybe it was the middle thing I talked about. Anyway, the third thing, moving their enclosure around, rearranging their enclosure. That's so easy to do, and it really does seem to make a difference for him anyway, as far as how he interacts with his enclosure when he's in there. So yeah, super simple. Takes a little bit of effort on my end to rearrange things, but it's really, I mean, I'm already cleaning his enclosure anyway, so might as well just put things back in a different manner. Those are the three, I'm holding up 3, you can't see it because there we go. Those are the 3 solutions that I've found while waiting for his bigger enclosure to get here. If you have any other suggestions, please put them in the comments below. I would love to hear other ideas for how to manage a smaller enclosure while waiting for a solution. Oh, I had a 4th thing. So the 4th thing is use the time that you are waiting for your bigger enclosure to your advantage. As you have your animals out and they're exploring, you can observe how they like to interact with their space and get a better idea of how you want to set up this new enclosure. Use that time that you have while you have them in that smaller enclosure to your advantage. Check them out, see how they explore their world when you have them out, and use that when you get your new enclosure in. Anyway, I guess that wound up being the 4 things. I guess one wasn't really a solution, so it's still three solutions. One kind of use to your advantage things to do while your snake is in a smaller enclosure. I hope you found it useful. I really hope you know that I'm not here to judge anyone as far as how they're keeping their snakes. If your snake is healthy and happy, then you're fine. If you enjoyed this video, if you would like to stick around, I post videos once a week. Like, subscribe, comment, all of that fun stuff. Don't forget to live life with brave curiosity, and I will see you next time. Pretty sure he's got hold of the braid. I am Abby Stone over at the Curly Haired Keeper. Why is that always so awkward for me to say? My name is Abby Stone. I'm over at the Curly Haired Keeper. Good God, I can't talk today.